Hi everyone, this is Noga from Vegan Noga. A few days ago I posted about the transformation that I've gone through this past year and my weight loss journey, and I got lots of questions and I promised to answer them, so this is the answer video to those questions. I just want to remind everyone though that I'm only sharing my personal journey. This isn't giving advice to anyone. You shouldn't try to emulate the things I said that I've done. I think you should just look at this as a case study, so you can learn from the things I've done and think what you would want to adopt, and also think to yourself what you don't want to adopt from the things I've done. That's totally fair, and each person and their own journey, and it's important that we each find our own way, because lots of people tell us what to do and do this and do that, and this diet's good, this other diet isn't good, and I don't believe that. I believe that it depends on your lifestyle, it depends on your goals, and you are the only one to determine what's good for you. So with that being said, let's begin. So let's begin with the first question. When you started this transformation, did you already have a nutritional plan and workout plan? Did you change it over time? And lastly, how much of a learning process was it? So when I started the transformation, did I already have a nutritional plan? Well, kind of, and not really. What I mean by that is that I had, prior to being vegan, I went through a calorie restricting phase, and I was underweight and like mentally also just not in the right mindset. And then I decided to heal from that, and part of my healing process was kind of like going to the other extreme, i.e. I went into a phase where I was binge eating and just had to basically show my body that it's okay to eat, like show my brain that it's okay to eat, don't be scared of food. And this is actually very typical for recovery from calorie restricting, so I'm not special in any way, it's totally normal. So after I had a phase of that, and I would say it probably lasted, I think around a year, maybe a bit less, but around a year. And then I felt confident enough to just relax with the quantities of the food and go back to eating just when I'm hungry, basically. It took me a while to figure out how to do that, but that's for another video about how I recovered and all that stuff. Anyway, I was using the help of the Dr. McDougall plan, which I found a newsletter from Dr. McDougall, and it said that it's advisable to divide your plate for lunch, dinner. Divide your plate into half of the plate being non-starchy vegetables, fresh or cooked, quarter of your plate legumes such as beans, chickpeas, lentils, and the last quarter of your plate being from starches like potatoes, sweet potatoes, whole grains. And that's kind of what I was trying to do. So at the time I was having breakfast as oats with a bit of fruit and nuts. It was also winter, so I didn't really have a lot of fruit at the time, so it was mostly frozen fruit. And then lunch and dinner as I just described, and maybe one or two snacks in between of fruit. Did I have a workout plan? Not really. I was doing mostly videos on YouTube by Kiara Lachey and Jillian Michael type of videos, so it was kickboxing and cardio, HIIT type of dance fitness type of videos. Didn't really have like a plan. I just, like, the important thing for me was to just do something, right? So that was how I started the transformation journey. Did you change it over time? Yes, I did. In terms of my food is a seasonal thing, right? So during the summer, there's naturally more ripe and high quality fruit available. So during the summer, I usually have more fruit as meals, not just as like snacks. Fruit as a meal. And of course during the winter I do tend to base myself more on legumes and grains and root vegetables and all that stuff. So it does change. I also do try to kind of learn what foods are good for me, what foods are not good for me. For instance, like I used to have oats for breakfast every day, and it just turns out that like oats just don't really agree with me, so I stopped eating oats, for instance. I also have periods where I'm like crazy about pasta, and then I'm kind of like another period where I'm crazy more about potatoes. So I don't fight with myself just because some plan said that I should have potatoes and not pasta. Like, no, it's just enjoying the food groups. I know what belongs to each food group, and I kind of play around with that. In terms of workouts, it did change because I found the Emily Sky plan, and I started doing that, or I think around March 2015. So that got me into resistance training or weight training or lifting, whatever you want to call it. I was doing home workouts to begin with, and after I got familiar with it and got comfortable with it, I decided to go to a gym to continue my journey. And around June I came across a vegan female health and nutrition coach. Her name is Karina Inkster in Vancouver, and I was lucky enough to meet up with her a few times and even attend her fitness and weight training meetups for women in Vancouver. And I learned a lot of stuff from her, and we kind of went over all the weight training moves, and together with her I was able to learn how to be independent in my training and to understand what move works on what parts of my body, and according to my own goals I can now build myself a workout log. And lastly, how much of a learning process was it? It's a learning process every day. It's still a learning process, and I don't think anyone doing health and fitness isn't on a learning process every single day, even if they look very, very advanced on their journey. I think it's always a learning process, always a learning curve. Definitely in terms of food and in terms of fitness, you keep wanting to challenge your body, and so you keep having to think about the next step anyway, whether it's changing up your routine or whether it's advancing your routine, making it harder, or and I also expect to have different periods of my life. For instance, if I ever want to get pregnant, then I am assuming I'm going to have to like relearn lots of stuff. What foods are good for me? I might, my body might tell me that other foods are better for me, while the foods I'm eating now are maybe less suitable. I don't know. And definitely in terms of fitness, then I will have to calibrate and make it suitable for that, right? And I think it's not just pregnancy. We go through, different mental and emotional phases of our lives, different, like you go to a different job, and maybe your job is more sedentary, less sedentary. You have to like kind of see where you're at and change it, and always a learning process. Okay, so next question is, how much of it was exercise and how much was diet? Was it hard to change your diet to vegan, or were you vegan before your weight loss journey? Okay, so I'll address the last bit of the question first. I was vegan before my weight loss journey. I went fully vegan when I decided to stop abusing my body by calorie restricting and you know, just being in that restrictive mindset. That's when I went vegan and I started eating healthy foods and basically like everything I explained in the last question. So yes, I was vegan before I started my weight loss journey. Was it hard to change your diet to vegan? Well, okay, so it was a process because the first time that I was actually like aware of veganism was due to a friend of mine on Facebook. And what initially attracted me about the lifestyle was basically that I don't want to be responsible for killing animals. And I just knew that like the second that that person exposed me to the lifestyle, I knew that I agreed with it. And like I knew that I didn't want to be responsible for killing animals, but there was another side of me that kind of like wasn't ready to give up eating animals. And I kind of even felt like, I remember feeling conflicted and thinking, I know I want to stop, but I also feel like I can't. I feel like, what, I'll never have fish again, I'll never have, you know, whatever again. And it was a process of 3 years where I was like flirting with veganism, trying to be vegan at home, but kind of like eating non-vegan food at restaurants with my family or friends, etc. So it was a 3-year process of which I basically matured into changing my lifestyle. And then I think what really helped me was when I started vegucating myself about the health advantages of a vegan lifestyle. And what I found out was just, you know, astonishing and astounded me. And I was like, okay, like now I'm ready, because now I've got like a larger toolbox and now I can tackle this. And the change was done overnight. Overnight, I just made a decision to go fully vegan, and then it wasn't hard for me because I stopped looking at animals as food. I just felt like I'm not giving up anything because that animal wasn't mine to kill, right? It wasn't mine, it doesn't belong to me, I don't own it, so I'm not giving up anything. And anyway, nowadays there's just a vegan alternative to any animal product that we can think of. Cheese, we have vegan cheese. Meat, we have vegan meats. You can watch my video on what vegan meats are available, by the way. And even vegan eggs. So I've tasted vegan fishless fillets, and I seriously had to look at the ingredients list to check that it really is vegan because it tastes so much like fish. So I think there really isn't, there shouldn't be any apprehension about the foods available to vegans in that sense nowadays, because we really have such an abundance of vegan foods. And you asked how much of it was exercise and how much of it was diet. Since I changed and adjusted both of them together and was kind of like tweaking and adjusting throughout the journey, both of those aspects, it would be hard for me to say which played a larger role in the results. What I can say is that I have definitely noticed my food choices affecting the way like my body has reacted to them. So I can see that that has a large influence on the results. On the other hand, I can also see that consistency in working out and like different types of workouts have also affected my results. So I kind of think it's just a mesh between the two, and it would be very hard for me to say which is more. I think they both work together, and I don't think it really is possible to be healthy only if you exercise but don't eat healthily, and same if you eat healthy but you don't exercise. I don't think either of those are a picture of health. So That's basically my answer to that. Okay, next questions. Did you cut out oils? Yeah, I did. We don't have oil at home. I don't cook with oil. I cook with either water or coconut milk. So I personally don't like oil. I never have. I don't like the sensation of like oily lips when you're done with like an oily meal. Don't really like fried food anyway, so it's, for me, it's also a matter of just not enjoying food that's oily. But I also, for myself, find that it doesn't help me get the results I want. So whenever I could avoid it, I did. At home, we never had oil, and try to eat oil-free food at restaurants too. So yes to that. And okay, I got this question. What time do you train? Do you alter your meals so you are having carbs directly after your workout? What do you have for breakfast normally? Can you come to New Zealand and be my personal trainer? I wish. Okay, so what time do you train? That has differed throughout the year. I always prefer to train in the morning because of a few reasons. I feel like when you train in the morning, that kind of sets your body to be kind of like strong and like in its element for the rest of the day. Another aspect another aspect for me about it is that it kind of like gives me a positive outlook on the day, because like in my head I'm like, yay, I already did my workout. Now I can like, you know, do whatever else I need to do during the day. And there isn't that like little voice telling you, you're gonna have to work out in the evening, blah, 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 blah. So you're like, I did my workout in the morning, I'm like, yay, like good to go type of thing. But there was like an entire period of time, for instance, in Canada, that I was working out in the evening because that's when I got to it. So actually my answer to that is, it's more important to be consistent and work out, you know, weekly, than to say, oh, I should be working out in the morning. So if I miss today, then oh fuck it, like that's it, like I fucked it up. No, just like work out in the evening. It's good. It's really good. You're still working out. You're still moving your body. Do it whenever you can. Like, I think what's more important is just doing it. Do you alter your meals so you're having carbs directly after your workout? No, I don't. I eat what I feel like eating. If I feel like eating fruit, I have fruit. If I feel like eating nuts, I have nuts. I don't time the food around the workouts. I only make sure that I stay hydrated. So having fruit for me is important because it's high in water content, and also of course drinking water. I think that's actually probably like more important than timing my like macronutrients breakdown, etc., like proteins and carbs and stuff like around it. So no, I don't alter my meals. What do you have for breakfast normally? If I usually have fruit, even if I'm not in a country that has amazing fruit like Thailand does. So for instance, my breakfast in Canada would be banana, like a banana. Frozen berries were my best friends, I have to say. Like a handful of raisins, a handful of cashews, and soy milk. I love soy milk, and it's got like, you know, protein in it too, and it's really, really healthy. And maybe some liquid stevia or maple syrup to sweeten it. And a kiwi. So that would be like a breakfast bowl for me in a country that doesn't have good fruit options. And here in Thailand, I can eat like a watermelon. I slice a watermelon, take half of it, and I start digging, and it can take me like 2 hours to finish it, but that would probably be like my brunch type of thing. Yeah, so I hope I answered your question. I got this question. Just wanted to know what kind of diet / lifestyle you follow. Starch solution, raw till 4. So I don't follow any of those diets, but those diets have been an aid to me in my health and fitness journey, because they taught me that I shouldn't be afraid of any food. I shouldn't be afraid of fruit. I didn't used to eat any fruit. I didn't used to eat any grains or root vegetables because I was scared of starches and stuff, or carbohydrates. But all veggies have carbohydrates, so it's really kind of like a silly notion to be scared of it. And even fats, like I'm not scared of fats, I just know where they are in the pyramid. They're at the top and I should be having them in their whole form, like nuts, seeds, but I shouldn't be like, stuffing myself with nuts, because it's just not gonna get me the result I want. It's not gonna make me feel like vital. So as I mentioned, like the McDougall, the starch solution helped me in the sense of like regulating my meals at the beginning when I was trying to not binge eat, basically, and I needed like some kind of guidance and like some kind of plan to follow. But I think it's also really important to be independent of a plan and to feel independent about your food choices, and for you to be making the decision and not to be just following some kind of food plan, although those do play an important role in learning what's good for you, because you can experience one food plan, you can experience another food plan, and then you can take what you like. So I really like the high fruit idea from like raw till 4. I really like that, and I also like the idea that you don't have to just be raw, you can also eat other things that are healthy, which I really like about raw till 4. And the starch solution, I really like the way that he explained the divide of the food groups on the plate, and I really like that. But also I just like, if I want to eat something with nuts, and if I want to eat like an entire meal with just legumes, like just like a plate of hummus, I just do that because I don't have to be scared of food. And it's also looking at the big picture, right? Not if you eat like one meal that's not exactly divided into all the food groups, then that's gonna like offset you. It's about the bigger picture, right? So what does your training program sort of look like, and do you lift weights, and if so, how many times a week? That's a really good question, but I again want to re-stress that this is what I do. There's probably like dozens of ways to get results, and it doesn't have to be done the way I did it. But this is what I like. So like, if I do give any advice, my advice is to stick to something you enjoy and that you like, and then like that interests you. Because if I'm interested in weightlifting but you're not, it's not gonna really, you're gonna do it for like a week or two, but then how are you gonna make it your lifestyle if you don't like it? Or you should find ways to like make it into something that you enjoy. Maybe if you don't like going to the gym, do it from home. If you don't like, that's what I'm trying to say. So yes, I do resistance training, and I lift weights. Yes, I do, and I also use my body weight, so it would still count as resistance training. I usually do it alternating, so one day of resistance training and the next day I would do something more like cardio or HIIT, high intensity interval training. So it could be like either dance fitness like Zumba, or from like my YouTube videos that I have, or just like a full body HIIT session with like Tabata form, where you time it and you have like short breaks in between, and it's like very, very like sweaty. So I do alternating resistance training one day, high intensity interval training the next day. Resistance training, HIIT, resistance training, HIIT type of thing, with like the rest days in between, which would probably be between 1 to 2 days a week of rest days. And also sometimes I don't do HIIT, and instead I could be going out for a long walk, or kind of like a hike type of thing. So I don't beat myself up if I didn't do the dance fitness that day, but as long as my body was moving, just moving, working, something, right? Because sitting like all day long on your chair at the office or on your computer or whatever, that's not gonna get the results. Yeah, so how many times a week? Then that would be around 5, like average 5 times a week. Sometimes 6, sometimes 4. Kind of depends, and kind of depends on the week. So I have another question here from the Hebrew comments. Okay, what foods did you not touch at all? So I can say that I really tried not to touch foods that have oil in them, and this probably includes the processed, the more processed foods, like the ready-made sausages, the ready-made deli slices, all those like vegan minced meats. That doesn't include tofu and tempeh, which I have abundantly. So all those vegan cheeses and processed foods, basically. All those processed foods, I tend to not touch them, although I did have a touch of them during this year. It's not like I never tasted them, but also I know that that's not going to get me the results I want, so I do try to avoid those. Did you fall off the wagon, and if so, how? Did I fall off the wagon? I don't really think I fell off the like fitness and health wagon. The only times that I can say would be falling off the wagon would be when we had like a month where we went out to restaurants more than we did like at any other month, and instantly I saw that my body just didn't respond well, and it kind of like plateaued my progress. And I'm talking about restaurants in Canada where there's like full of oil, and even like the non-oily things are still oily, with the exception of sushi. Sushi was a food that I could eat out and didn't hinder my progress. So yeah, like I remember having those months and saying, okay, I need to eat more foods at home, like home cooked food, because it's not really helping me on my journey. So I would say that would be my falling off the wagon, but also kind of like it's okay because I learned from it. I wouldn't call it falling off the wagon. It's just something that now I know, like what's good for me and what's not. It's actually like a blessing. And how many times a week did I train? I responded to that. And did you fast or do juice fasts? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the reason is because I don't believe in that. So you can fast or juice fast, and then what? Then go back to eating and have to deal with everything from the beginning. It's kind of like giving your body like what I feel. It's like kind of like equal to your body kind of like if you compare your weight loss journey to somebody walking, and you're like, oh, why aren't I losing weight? And like, oh, why isn't that person walking or walking so slowly? So let's kick that person. If we kick him, then he'll walk faster because he doesn't want to get kicked. Okay, he'll walk faster, but the second you leave, he'll stop because You know, that's not gonna help, like kicking that person. It's not gonna help kicking your body if you fast and abuse it and do like juice cleanses and stuff. If you want to do like a juice cleanse, why not just have like the fruit and vegetables in their whole forms, and they have the dietary fiber and everything intact? Why turn it into juice, right? At the end of the day, you can't live off of juice for the rest of your life. Maybe someone can, but I definitely can't. So I didn't do any of those fasts, and also because I wanted to get my results without having to do anything radical or anything crazy or anything that would require me to go out of my way and basically suffer. I just wanted to get healthy and not have to push my body to do things that aren't really pleasant or enjoyable. And that was my goal. My goal was to get healthy without doing anything out of the ordinary. So I don't see like any reason to fast or juice fast in order to lose weight or be like generally healthy. I know some people who have like specific health problems might want to fast. I don't want to comment on that because I don't know. So the next question is, how strict were you over a year? I wouldn't say that I needed to be strict, because if in terms of food, for instance, food choices, there's nothing that you can't make healthy. So if you want to have burger and fries, you can just make yourselves a healthy veggie patty and oven baked fries. So I never found a problem with that. Even chocolate, I love my homemade chocolate recipe of blending dates, cocoa powder and coconut milk in a blender, and there you go, you have vegan chocolate sauce. So I never find that I have to be strict with food. The only thing with food, as I said, was the restaurant food, and that was just there to teach me about myself, which is totally fine. And regarding my training, how strict was I during the year? The thing is that when I don't train, I don't feel so good, and when I do train, I feel amazing and I feel happy and strong. So of course I would want to train. When I had the cold, or just when I was sick a few days, then I did take time off, sometimes a week, sometimes 2 weeks if it was like a longer cold or flu. And during that time I was thinking, oh no, like it's gonna hinder my results, but the truth was that giving my body that break was actually a blessing, and I came back to the training and I could see I got gains, and my body really liked that break. So apart from those number of breaks that I had during the year, I was pretty consistent. Even if it doesn't always have to be a killer workout. It can also just be 15 minutes and then add walking to the supermarket and back. But you moved your body. That's the point. The point is just to not stay put on your chair the entire day. That's basically my motto. And for this is the last question, is about my how does a day of food look for me? So as I explained, it changes with the seasons, and it also changes with where I am. In Canada I was doing one thing, in Thailand I am doing something a little different, but the overall principle is starting my day off with fruit, like between 1 to 3 portions of fruit depending on the fruit itself, and wouldn't mind adding like a handful of nuts to it as well. And then for lunch would be like grains, plenty of vegetables and leafy greens, raw vegetables, cooked vegetables, plenty of those. Grains, whole grains, and root vegetables in moderation. And nuts and seeds and avocados and olives, just a small amount of that. That's how I would describe my eating plan. And for lunch and dinner, I would probably have like some kind of like rice or potatoes or some other grain with lots of vegetables, and maybe like a dollop of hummus, homemade hummus. You can look up on my website www.vegannoga.com. I have lots of recipes of all the stuff that I have been eating this past year, so take a look at that. So a dollop of hummus, or any other like legume, or tofu, like fried tofu. I really like frying it with coconut milk and nutritional yeast. It kind of tastes like halloumi, which is really cool. I could also have bread, like sandwiches, and like as a meal, like 2 slices of bread laden with like lots like fried mushrooms. When I say fried, I mean water fried or coconut milk fried. Fried mushrooms with onions and tofu, and like check my Instagram account to look at all the foods. I upload what I eat, so it's really easy to follow that. Vegan Noga on Instagram, on my Facebook page, and Snapchat. You can see me showing my workouts as well. And if you'd like to see what workouts I do, you can look on this video, which shows like my home workouts. At the moment I'm working out at home because I don't have access to a gym, and I'm also trying to save money, so I prefer working out at home. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to comment with your questions. I will be happy to answer any question. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I'll be talking more about veganism and about fitness and health and life in general. It's really hot here in Thailand. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Please give this video a thumbs up if you have. And I'll see you around in the next video. Goodbye.